Everybody knows the market is changing. What do you do that helps you stay ahead of the game when it comes to recruiting? Running a brokerage is hard work. So whether you're focused on building your own sales pipeline, hiring the best agents, leveling up your team's production, or protecting culture you've built, you're in the right place. Real estate brings the challenges, and we share the solution. Welcome to the show dedicated to broker entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Brokerpreneur Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur Podcast. I'm Dr. Ben Spears, the Doctor of Flow. I'm back. 2024, Matt.
What's up?
In February. 2024. And I'm here with the big guy as
January
usual.
is a redo.
Matt, bye. January was like a mental reset there, guys. Sorry about that. So how's it going, Matt?
Absolutely fantastic. You know,
No,
loving being behind the mic, ready to drop some truth on what to do in 2024. We know it's going to be a bouncy market, so so hold on, let's go.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
No, not actually. I mean, there's things that I always try to work on, but nothing that I did that I could turn around and give up by now.
Gotcha. I like it. That's the best way of saying it. It's probably the best way I've ever heard. I don't have a lot of New Year's resolutions either. It's the same thing. It's like I'm always trying to get better at the same things, and there's my resolution. Keep trying to get better.
Absolutely, 1%.
Well, Matt, what are we talking about today?
So everybody knows that the market's always changing, right? Mm-hmm. And we hear people talk all the time. Well, real estate's changing, so you got to navigate the shifting market. Absolutely, 100%. There's truth in that. Okay.
Yep.
But what we're going to talk about is the parts that you need to adapt whenever it comes to recruiting.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I like that. Well, guys, before we get started, do me a favor, go to the links in the description below and register for Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society. This is where we get together with brokers and podcast listeners from across the country. It's absolutely free to attend every single Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We would love to see you there. All right, so Matt, I have in my notes here, right, I'm just going to go down. It says, stay informed about local and national economic indicators. Mm-hmm. Right, that's a mouthful, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It is. And so what it does is it triggers me. It triggers me like a bad childhood memory.
Yeah, I got you.
So when I put that in there, here's what that actually means. As a broker, how are you staying ahead of what goes on in the market? Okay.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Brokers in a minute they can set up a search, and agents in a minute can set up a search that helps a buyer or a seller know what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
But they can't or don't go into the MLS and do the same thing to tell them daily or weekly or monthly or whatever what's going on in the market.
Yeah.
Right? Well, if you know that you can find a specific house in a certain neighborhood with bedrooms and bathrooms in a certain price range and all that kind of stuff and set up an automated search for somebody else, why don't you have that set up for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And so people don't, right?
Of course.
And a lot of people are out there like, well, Matt, when I need it, I know exactly how to go get it. Man, that is not the point. I can't tell you how much that's not the point.
Yeah. That doesn't trigger you.
That doesn't trigger you. That's exactly right. It should be coming to you so that they're stacking up, they're piling up so that you can look at it so that you can see what's going on. Here's what I know for a fact happens because this is what happened to me. Mm-hmm. I did the same exact thing. Everybody knows this, right? That has heard me talk before. Man, when I started out with my brokerage and then being a regional manager and all that kind of stuff, I was kind of sharp about what was going on in real estate.
Yeah.
But man, as far as how that tied to business and big picture and all that kind of stuff, I had so much to learn. And I didn't realize for a long time how much I had to learn until I started saying, okay, I'm not a real estate person in business. I'm a business person in real estate.
Yeah.
And as soon as I made that shift, I started looking at things. And one of the things that I saw that I really needed to make a shift in, just because I could go get that information doesn't mean I was.
Right.
And as soon as I started getting it on a regular basis, because it was popping up and I was looking at it, opportunities came up. And I didn't realize how much they were coming up before, but opportunities came up that gave me the chance to talk about those things, which put me in a different light with the people that I was around. Not just the leadership team that I was with and the agents that I was with, but the people in my community and all that stuff. So I knew what was happening. Even when I would sit at meetings with professional standards or at the board office or I was at an open house or whatever, and things would come up, I had the ability of being able to talk specifically about things just because those reports were coming in and I was paying attention to them.
Yeah.
They were coming in automatically. And this is a long time ago.
Oh, right.
This is when you had to really go through some steps to get things from the MLS, right? And so number one is, man, do you have that set up? Okay. What do you have set up? What are you receiving? Are they all stacking up?
Yeah.
Right? And what I mean by all stacking up, if you've got whatever mail account you've got, put a filter on it so it drives it into a certain folder. So when you've got 20 minutes, you can go back and look at 3 or 4 weeks worth or 2 months worth of all of that and just kind of figure out what's going on. As that starts to happen, you're going to feel more competent in those conversations.
Yep.
Which means you're going to be more confident.
Yeah, I like that. And, having those numbers, seeing those trends, seeing those patterns, we have on here talking about, adaptation, right? Mm-hmm. Adapting to these market trends. It almost lets you stay ahead of them because you start at that point you start forecasting. And let's just talk about that.
Yeah, even when you're not good at it, even if you're not a numbers person, it still gives you the chance to understand things in a way that will adapt how you're going through the market. Yeah. Right? You're going to notice that when you see those numbers, when you see those things happening, you're going to notice it starts coming up even without you having to plan for them to come up. Mm-hmm. So if you're a selling broker, rock on your listing appointments, those things are going to be coming up. You're going to be able to have those conversations. And your recruiting appointments, which I promise we're going to get to, it's going to make sure it comes up a certain way in your recruiting appointments. It's also going to make sure that whenever you're talking to your vendors and the other people that are in business or in the networking groups that you're in and all that kind of stuff, it's going to pop up. And as soon as you start having those conversations, what'll happen is you'll start getting spotlighted for that because there's a lot of people faking it through the numbers.
Absolutely.
If you ask a lot of brokers, hey, how's it going in the market? Oh, well, seller this and buyer that and interest rates this and interest rates that.
Yeah.
And that's all they have to say about it. They can't quote specifically what's going on month to month most of the time.
Agreed.
You don't have to be perfect at it. That's not what I'm saying. But you should know.
You should be close.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that will adapt some of your conversations with people. And when, people are going to ask, I think we all know this, right? People in your sphere of influence, people that that are business and friends and people at church and soccer and all that kind of stuff, they ask you, what do you see in the market? Because they know that's what you do for a living. Do you know what they do to other people they know that's in real estate? They say the same thing.
Yeah.
And when they hear about the same thing from both people, they think both people are the same.
Yeah.
And so when you can talk specifically about things and say, well, month over month, this is the type of growth that we're looking at. And I know the newspaper said that, we were down 30%, but maybe that's for all of the area that we live in. But I know that in this market, in this part of the market, those are actually up by 12 and 13% respectively. Month over month and year over year, they're up 9.5% respectively. Man, you say that. And then the other person says, oh, yeah, well, it's still a seller's market and the buyers are still looking for interest rates and all of that. And the next thing you know, people are going, wait a minute. When I talked to Matt, this is what he said. When I talked to Ben, this is what he said, and he knew specifics. When it comes time for me to sell my house, do I want to guess just because I like one person better? No, I want somebody that's got the facts.
Yeah.
That's you adapting how you do business to what's going on in the market because you're really talking about those things to help people understand how they can make a more informed decision.
Yeah. I think in your analogy you flip the roles there though.
Do you?
Yeah, because you're like, Matt was kind of general, but I really like Matt. Ben knew the specifics. Right?
So you think everybody likes you and I know the specifics.
Yeah, do I want to go with the guy that I like or the guy who really knows what's going on? All right. It was a total bizarro world there.
Right. A little 3-card money on first thing in the morning on the podcast. Right?
Exactly. So,
gotcha.
So I'm going to ask the question that everyone is asking right now.
Uh-huh.
What the hell has this got to do with recruiting?
Well, absolutely nothing, of course. So part of what I think every broker knows this.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're talking to an agent and they're contemplating making a move, or they don't really have making a move on their radar, and you're helping them understand that making a move might be a good situation for them. Man, do they want to go with somebody that's just general and barely knows what's going on and saying the same thing their broker is saying?
Right.
No,
of course.
They absolutely do not. They want to go with somebody that is a leader. At least agents worth having.
Oh yeah.
There's some agents that are like, oh, I just like Ben, and so I'm going to stay at Ben's brokerage, but most people are like, hey, I want to know what's going on. I want to understand what's happening. I want to be with somebody that can actually help lead me through what's going on in the business.
Yeah. I can still like Ben.
Absolutely, and they should.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, they want to have somebody that is going to make sure that they understand what's going on and where it's trending.
Yeah, because one thing that they'll be thinking is, if I go someplace else because I found like this leader that really knows what's going on, and then Ben doesn't like me, was he worth liking in the first place?
The answer is no.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, that means he liked your company dollar.
that's exactly right.
So from a big picture standpoint, what are we doing? We're trying to educate agents in general on what's going on with the market. So if you've got these stats and they're coming in, one of the conversations you can have, let's say that you bump into somebody and that's an agent that's contemplating making a move, or you're talking to them about making a move, or one of your agents says, hey, you need to go talk to Betty Sue. She would be a great addition to the team. And you call Betty Sue. Betty Sue's like, no, I'm really happy right where I'm at and everything. And you say, well, Betty Sue, I completely understand that, and I love the loyalty. I actually have a market update that I kind of put together that I send out. I know you probably get one from a bunch of different places. If you don't mind, I'll just send it over to you. I hope it's something that can help you out with your business. If you ever have any questions about it, just let me know, right? And it's real estate. So what can she say? Yes, no, or maybe, accept, decline, or amend, right?
Yep.
So now you start building this list of people that you're sending this market update to. Now, I know what some people are thinking. Matt, I don't have time for a market update. Or Matt, I don't want to get on video and do a market update. Or Matt, I've got all these excuses of why I shouldn't do this, okay? I love it. Rock on. Go get them, Tiger, okay? However, you can actually take all of the stats from that market update when they come into your email, and you can send them over to an administrative person and say, go to Canva and put this number, this number, this number, and this number off of this spreadsheet or off of this report, this number, and put them all four in these. And at the end of the month, we will have 4 weeks worth of those adjustments, same side-by-side comparison, put it in a nice Canva sheet. This will take you about 4.4 seconds because you're using the same exact template. Up at the top of it, it's going to have your logo. At the bottom, it's going to have your face. It's going to say, thanks for being connected. If you're seeing something different in the market, I'd love to talk to you. Click the QR code to set an appointment to meet with me. Here's this report. Literally not even being done by you as the broker.
Yeah, and there's AI out there that'll voice it.
Absolutely.
So if you wanted to, you could essentially take those numbers,
Absolutely.
put them onto one single PowerPoint sheet, to where everybody can see it, and then send the text to an AI, and it's gonna you can have a
natural reader.
Yeah, exactly, natural reader. Read that, and because you can dictate what it says
through AI.
Yeah, through AI, you can say this is the market update from this brokerage and put together by this broker, and you can still personalize it to where it doesn't seem like you're just sharing someone else's content. But yeah, just know there's a lot of things out there that you can do if you're not as handsome as we are. That's what I'm saying, man.
Wow,
That's basically what I'm saying.
You had me until the end there, Ben. You had me until the end. We got a face for radio, and that's why we podcast. So absolutely push that out. All that can be done by somebody else administratively. You record that message that you were just talking about at the beginning one time.
Yep. You
have that script that's done by natural reader or whoever one time. It's built by AI one time.
Yep.
The numbers are put in by your admin one time. And now you've got something that goes out to everybody that is just on this list of people that you're constantly touching, constantly being in front of. And it is super simple. Put the QR code at the bottom. I said that part quickly.
Yeah.
Put the QR code at the bottom that says, if you want to, if you've got any input on this, or if you want to sit down and talk a little bit more about it, click and grab an appointment time on my schedule. The cool thing is, one day somebody's going to click on it out of the blue. You're going to have an appointment with Betty Sue because it's time for her to join your brokerage.
Yeah, and you can also store, let's say, these market updates on a YouTube playlist.
Yep.
Or depending on how savvy you are from a website standpoint, store them on a single page on your website, which would be even better. You could have a link on there that says, want to see the past few months market updates, so that you can get get an upper hand on the trends and the patterns. Click on this link, and it'll take them there as well. 100%. You could even have a sign up form that makes them put their name and their email in to get those
Absolutely.
things, and you actually know who's engaging with your content as well as who's going to your website. And I'm not even going to get into pixels and all those kind of different things, but they go, then you start tracking on all these kind of things.
Ben just went off a cliff. Everybody.
I got triggered.
I got triggered,
everybody.
So you can keep it simple, or you can Benize it.
Yeah, exactly. You know how I do. All right, Matt. What else you got for a pork chop?
Yeah, I think that's some applesauce, and I think we're done.
Yep, I like it. Well, guys, wherever you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, make sure to hit that follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button. Hit that red bell right so you get notified every time we drop a new episode. Matt, remind everybody to go to Brokerpreneur Not So Secret Society down there and register for that, because we'd love to see you this coming Friday. Matt, we do this and everything else that we do for one reason and one reason alone. Tell them why that is.
Man, we just want to be part of your win.